Alright, alright, sorry guys. Internet went out for just a second. Should be good now. So, looking at the weekly or the daily candles now, you can see the range even better. Just been moving sideways for a while now. So we entered this range starting November 22nd. So since then, just moving completely sideways. It's a pretty decently sized range. So obviously on the lower time frames, you look like you're kind of creating a little bit of structure, but it's really just creating structure back and forth within that range. So the daily, we're starting to push down lower here. We're coming into all of these rejection areas though, so we'll see what happens if we do tap into there, if we can break through, or if we reject again. Let's look at the 4 hour here. Look at the 4 hour, we're coming up on a support right down here, so we gotta be careful. This is our 30-minute, our 1 hour support. Yeah, same thing. We've got rejection wicks and stuff right around there. So we're coming up into there. 5 minute is going to be pretty close to tapping into there by the time the open comes in 15 minutes. So we'll see if we keep pushing down. We're going to mark this high right now because anything above this high we can consider looking for buys above here and taking those to test this high and this high, even these equal highs up there. So probably looking for some bullishness today if we do start to slow down here, because we're coming into that rejection zone and I don't want to take a sell into that. So let's see what happens. It looks like it's dropping pretty hard right now though. So NASDAQ. NASDAQ weekly candle last week closed very bullish, so a little different here. We could be putting in our low for this weekly candle now before we start to flip back bullish and start to make our next push up to test this high up there. So the daily candles, we've had a couple bearish in a row now, so we're putting in lows here. We already put in our low here, so break this low there, potential for a good move to the downside here to test this level down there. Looking at a little bit lower time frame here, I think we're gonna trade NASDAQ today because Dow's looking pretty ugly. So looking here, you can see this range we're in on the 5 minute. So if we break below these lows down there, then we are going to have a good clean move right here to the left going down. So so anything below these lows, looking left, we've got this clean structure here, this clean move here. So if we break those lows, we can expect to kind of mirror that and come test somewhere within this zone right there. So good sell potential here on NASDAQ. Looking at the buy side. Kind of similar here. So we've got this high right there of the range. So once we break that high, we've really got a lot of room until we come into these rejection areas up inside of here. So we could make a buy move to the upside as well. So really no bias here yet. Looking at the daily though, probably thinking we're going to drop a little bit because we had this big move up. We really haven't retraced much, and the daily candle's starting to make its low now. So I think that we're probably going to head down today potentially. Let's look at SPX real fast. Okay, SPX putting in its low as well, probably similar to what's going to happen on NASDAQ. But this candle's already put in its high and it's backing off now. So we start breaking these lows, we're probably going to make that same move to the downside. So overall, I'm looking pretty bearish for these two at least. And usually when you have two that look similar, that's what's going to happen is those two are going to move. Then US30 is probably going to follow after. So let's check out the 5 minute here just so we can see what we're working with. And this is pretty similar to NASDAQ. It doesn't look as clean, personally, to me, on the 5-minute. Looking at NASDAQ, they're pretty similar, but I think worth taking NASDAQ today. Let's take a look at the DXY. Yeah, weekly candle in DXY never even made a lower wick, and we're just pushing straight up right now. So we do have this very big rejection wake up in here that we need to be careful of, that we're pushing up into. But I imagine with us having zero desire to go down right here, we're probably going to keep pushing up here, which helps us on indices if we're going to go bearish today. If you look at these daily candles, we started to break out of this this range that we were in here, and we broke the structure here. So breaking structure to there, probably going to keep coming up, maybe test these highs, even potentially break those highs before we see a retracement to the downside. Kind of seeing a little Wyckoff schematic play out on the lower time frames here. Let's see, 30 minute just broke this high right here, so we're just creating bullish structure still. Yeah, looks like we should continue heading up for today on the DXY. So all we need to see is a break of this high up there, and we need to respect this low that we've put in now to keep creating this bullish structure here. Once this high's broken, should get another leg to the upside, nice push up, which will drive the indices to the downside. So let's see, Bitcoin. What up, AB? Wadaguan? What language is that? Is that African or what is it? Alright, looking at the weekly on Bitcoin. RDK. Looking at Bitcoin here, last week's candle made a nice low. It's Jamaican. Okay, he knows. Close. Jamaican. Alrighty. So this is our range we're sitting in on the Bitcoin daily chart. So we've had a nice push down here, but we're coming into these rejection areas here. So probably going to start rejecting here if we don't break these lows, and just kind of continue within here. What we really need is these lows to break so that we're having a shift of structure on the lower time frames. Right here, shift of structure. We need to shift this and this ultimately so we can start creating that bearish downtrend to retrace this big move, because there's a lot of inefficiency down inside of here. It's Jamaican, but they say in some parts of Africa. Oh, nice, dude. So yeah, I'm expecting Bitcoin eventually to retrace a little bit, to come, you know, tap into this inefficiency down here, but we are stuck within these rejection ranges. So I'm not sure when that's going to happen, but looking at, you know, the weekly candle, it's very possible that it doesn't, and it just breaks the high and continues to push up and test 30,000. I think AB was calling for 30,000 at least sometime soon, potentially. 10 minutes until the open. We'll run through GJ and stuff real fast. The weekly candle had a pretty big gap up. Looking here, we gapped up. We put in our high, now we're breaking our low. Probably coming to test these lows down here. Maybe fill this wick to the downside there, potentially. So probably looking pretty bearish for the day and the week. But again, we're still stuck in a range. There's a lot of ranges right now in the market. So we need these ranges to start breaking out so we can see some actual structure being made. Because really there's nothing to play in here until one of these two highs or lows are broken there. So gonna wait on GJ. Really nothing there. You know, we kind of broke a little bit of bullish structure here to the upside, breaking this high right there. So we'll see if we kind of retrace somewhere within here and then make that next move to the upside. GJ 1 hour buys for me. Yeah, I think this is the one I'm looking at. Yeah, this one right here. That's probably what you're talking about right here. So yeah, I agree with this. I mean, it's not super clean. Obviously, a good break of structure would be up here, but it did kind of break a little bit right there. So yeah, I think I see what you're talking about right there. It looks better on like the 15-minute chart or like the 30-minute chart, because this consolidation zone right there. But would have been a lot better if we started breaking these and ultimately break out of this range. But we'll see what happens there. I can definitely see this starting to turn around and make another move to the upside there. Maybe it'll test that high and potentially break out of that range. Euro USD, we're gonna get some retracement finally. Looks like it. So Euro USD has been super bullish since October, really. So no retracements there. Definitely due for one. And we already put in our high on the weekly candle and we're pushing down pretty hard now. So looking at the daily, the only thing we got to be careful of is if we're coming into a rejection zone, we got to see if we're gonna either, you know, slow down in here, reject, and then start making another move back up, or if we just keep pushing down. And with how fast it's moving down, it's probably not going to stop yet. Probably gonna keep coming down to at least 718, and we'll see, or 786. We'll see if it turns around there. Kind of had this little liquidity grab here to the upside, quick move down, so you know, we might see another move up to retrace first and kind of create a little bit of this flag pattern down into here before it could potentially turn around. Maybe see if it even does that. It's coming down pretty fast, so if it does turn around, I'm expecting it to do it soon. Maybe 106. You have a nice round number right here, 1.06, so could line up pretty well there. GBPUSD, we rejected this high last week and made a very strong move to the downside, closed with no bottom wick though, so it's a little tricky. We already put in our high here, now we're breaking our low. We've got this whole wick right here to fill, so we'll see if we continue pushing down for the week. The daily candle's looking like we're going to continue pushing down for at least today. Close these. Let's hop down to like 30-minute time frame. Yeah, so we've got a lot of room down into here. So probably going to just keep seeing it break these lows and just keep pushing to the downside and probably come test 1.185-ish level. So, all right, gold. Let's see what's going on with gold. Okay, so gold's rejecting this area pretty strongly right now. Good bearish candle last week, closed with our low way below the previous candle's low. So now we are putting in our highs for the week. Yesterday's daily candle put in a high and backed off and closed the doji candle. So we'll see if this candle looks like we already put in our high and we respected the previous day's high. So we start flipping bearish and we break these lows down here. Then we've got a nice move to the downside to come test 1826 level. So I'm expecting gold to drop today as well. At the hourly candle, you can see we're just kind of consolidating. So maybe we might get a retracement first before it drops. Who knows? If we break this high, we've got a nice clean move to, you know, probably at least up within here, but most likely up somewhere within this inefficiency up inside of there. So if we do that, or we just continue with momentum when we break the lows right there, and looking left, you've got nothing till at least 1821 level. So could see a move down there. Next level somewhere like 1800 level. So two ways gold could go today. We could get a retracement, which it's definitely due for. You've got a lot of inefficiencies up here and then even higher. But at the same time, you've got a lot of momentum to the downside right now with how strong these daily candles have closed. So, and both of these never really made a very strong push to the upside. So we'll see what happens there. Back to the indices. So yeah, looking at US30, you can see we're already tapping into this zone right there, that rejection area. So it's gonna be tricky there. I'm just trying to decide how to navigate these pairs, because if we do take sells and the opening candle pushes, it's gonna be a while before it even gets down to this level, and your stop will be pretty big. So I'm thinking maybe we it's a little more risky, but we take entries at the break of this low, thinking that if that low is broken, then the next low is this actual rejection low, and if it goes to test that, it's probably because it's going to go to break that and continue pushing to the downside. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here. But we'll see what happens. We got 2 minutes until the opening. NASDAQ. I think NASDAQ would look good as well. That low right there. So we'll see what happens. We're kind of in this, hard to tell where we're consolidating. Just it kind of crawled down right here, but really we've just been in a consolidation that whole time. So we'll see. See what happens. We got 43. Oh, that's the 1 minute. We've got a minute 40 until this candle closes. So I think we should be pretty safe once this candle closes up there. If the next candle comes and starts breaking all these lows, to take some kind of sell right here and target the test of the low right there. Because if we start breaking its own low here and this low here, odds are we're coming to test the actual lows down here, and it's actually right up there. So we'll see what happens there. US30. I'm interested to see if this turns bullish here. It makes a push up at the open. Okay, 50 seconds left. US30 pushing down. Everything's really pushing down right now. So we'll see how this candle closes. If we close somewhere like this, that'd be awesome. I just don't want it to break right before the open. So like we're going to break it. Maybe not. 6 seconds left. Yeah, we're making our move up first, so we'll see what happens if we start to flip back bearish here. I'm gonna delete this for now. We're not in anything yet. Trying to break the highs. US30 dropped out. NASDAQ. I think we might just be creating kind of a little whipsaw here. Push up and then maybe break these lows to the downside. We'll see. First minute of it is almost done, and SPX is flipping bearish now, so you know you could probably get away with, well, I'm gonna wait because this one is, they're both pushing bullish and SPX is the only one dropping right now. So see if we just continue to reject. I want to see how this 5 minute candle closes here. We close right here and we start flipping bearish. That's a good sign too. So yeah, you know, you could take sells here. The only problem is your stop's gonna be pretty big, so I'd probably put it somewhere. No, there's no way to really play this just because your stop's so big. We're gonna have to wait a little bit. Wait for this 5 minute candle to close. It's got 3 minutes left on it. US30 almost pushed completely back up from that big candle, so it's kind of interesting. There, it's gold doing anything. The XY hasn't done much yet. Just chilling. So, you know, maybe it's not going to do anything until Powell talks later. That's a high possibility, but US30 starting to push up. NASDAQ, pretty good rejections up here, so we'll see if we start to break up here. NASDAQ's rejecting this level pretty hard. We'll see if it continues to reject that. That 1 minute candle just closed pretty bearish here. 5 minute candle's got 2 minutes left on it. So how this candle closes is going to be pretty important on whether we get an opportunity today or if we just have to sit and watch, because if it closes somewhere down here and then we break this low, then we have a good potential for sells here. If not, then we're probably just going to get stuck watching and really not have any trade. So starting to break the lows now. We're coming close to test it. This 5 minute candle flip bearish. Oh, flip back bullish. It's moving back and forth a lot. So let's look at the volume. Oh yeah, we had super low volume here. Now we're pushing, so we'll see what happens. We have all this volume and it's still not breaking the highs. SPX is rejecting these highs as well right there, and the DXY is just kind of creating a little channel to the upside, really not moving much. We need this to move a little bit to help us out, but gold doing anything? Gold's making a move up. Okay, really ugly price action right now. So we've had all these wicks up in there the last 5 minutes. We'll see if we close bearish here in 17 seconds. Or if we close up towards that high. If we close up towards that high, it gets a little tricky for sells. I don't think that'll happen. 2 seconds. Okay, we closed as a doji, so next candle potentially I'm not going to take this, because once you've had a move like this 5 minute where it moves both directions, it's higher risk. But if you wanted to take this trade, you could do it at a lower risk and take it on the break below here. I wouldn't do it right as it breaks there. I'd do it around 12.441 just to be safe. But yeah, it's looking like it's just gonna chill within this range for a bit, because looking at this whipsaw right there, probably gonna just consolidate unless we get a break at these lows. Once that low's broken, I'm thinking we're gonna push up. Okay, so that's broken there. Stop below this 1 minute candle, because that's the only really, that's the same as the 5 minute. So your 1-to-1, it's gonna be right here. So TP1 at 12.426. 12.426. And we're sucking up within the zone. That's fine as long as we come and close back in here. We don't want to come break this high. So we'll see what happens here. Oops. TP1. SPX is dropping as well. NASDAQ's dropping. Good sign there. DXY pushing up. So we should be fine here. Just need NASDAQ to continue pushing down. Come tap our TP1. This 5-minute candle's got 2.5 minutes left here, so we'll see if we push into the downside. DXY starting to break out of this little channel that we're in, maybe. Channeling up to the upside here, so we need to actually break out of these highs. And looks like this is going to be a nice hot L. Yep, got faked out there. So that's how it's going to be today. That's why I said not to really trade that, because you had that whipsaw on the 5-minute. Once you see that whipsaw on the 5-minute, there's no reason to take any trades on the breaks of those, because the next candle's probably just going to do the same, and same for that for the rest of the candles. So it's really hard to take trade when it does that, because there's no clear direction here. So looks like we faked out to the downside here on the 1-minute. Now we're pushing up to break these highs potentially, so could just be another fake out, who knows. Yeah, I think it's just gonna consolidate until Powell speaks, unless we start to see a move. Yeah, I got no trade as well. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna move really until Powell speaks, unless it starts to make a move right now. Otherwise, it's just gonna continue to whipsaw back and forth. There's just no. Yeah, just super ugly 5-minute candles here. So DXY is kind of rejecting as well. DXY is not even moving, so probably a good sign to just stay out of the indices for now. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it for today, because there's not really much going on, and just really ugly price action. So hopefully we get a better move tomorrow. Hopefully get a trade, my first trade of the week. It'll be Wednesday, and I haven't even taken a trade yet, so nice. But yep, that's gonna do it for me today, guys. So we'll see you all tomorrow. Peace out.